mummy's with the maggots now.
Death has come to your little town, Sheriff.
Well, hi there.
Hello and welcome to Would You Die, the show where I can tell you something about this place. The boys around here call it the Black Lagoon, a paradise. Only they say nobody has ever come back to prove it. I'm Austin Torres.
And I'm Anneliese Petersmark.
And today we are ending Summerween. Summerween, Return of Summerween is closed. It's done. No mas. It was a hot one.
Like 7 inches from the midday sun.
Yeah. Yes. But we are ending with probably one of the most iconic horror movies ever made.
Yeah, I would say so. We are ending with Creature from the Black Lagoon.
Yes. The first Universal monster movie that we're covering, which how did we do 70 without covering a
I have no
Universal
idea.
classic?
This is the thing, is I keep coming back to this where sometimes we get to these
I didn't do the thing. You said it. Jeremy and I looked, but I was being courteous.
Oh, fuck, okay. I'll start over. Here's the thing.
No, this is the creature.
Oh. Okay.
Sorry.
We'll do these episodes, though, where,
yes.
like Friday the 13th, for example, or Creature from the Black Lagoon, where I'm like, how did we get so far into it without doing this one or without doing Universal Horror or whatever? And I mean, the answer is that you are pretty fucking good about making sure that we spread out our big horror and we keep some stuff in the chamber for later, which is great. I think that makes for a really good podcast because not only does it mean that we cover really big and exciting movies every few months, but it also means that we get to talk about maybe some little known horror that people don't always know about, and I really appreciate that. But something that I appreciate even more as somebody who is really into the history and the literary aspect of our podcast is going back to the beginning, and that's really kind of what we're going to do in this episode.
It's funny that you say that because this is the oldest episode we've covered so far on the main feed. Second, if we count the Patreon.
Yes.
It's also the end of an era at the same time. Okay. Because it's, for us, it's the beginning in the sense of, we have not covered an older horror movie. On our Patreon, the Godzilla Project, Godzilla came out the same year as Creature from the Black Lagoon, but in November. Creature came out in February. And one of our Patreon bonus episodes was Dumbo. That's the oldest movie we've covered altogether. But for the main feed, Creature's by far the oldest, because I think next is Psycho, which came out in 1960.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think that is the closest one that we've got other than this.
So we're finally broke into the 50s. This is the last of, the classic Universal monsters.
Yes, that is true.
And Universal made other movies in the 50s, but none that had the impact of Creature from the Black Lagoon.
Yes, absolutely. Before we kind of get into, because obviously in historical context, we're going to talk a lot about what is a universal monster? What does that mean?
Right.
All of that. Let's do our synopsis and our personal connections.
Yes, because this is an older movie. Maybe not everyone has seen it.
Yes. So if you haven't seen it, I highly recommend it. It's not a long watch. It's only 79 minutes. It's a really beautiful, tight,
a tight 79.
Tight 79, yeah. So let's talk about it. The plot of The Creature from the Black Lagoon It's kind of what it says on the tin. Geology expedition in the Amazon rainforest uncovers fossilized evidence from the Devonian period that provides a direct link between land and sea animals. Expedition leader Dr. Carl Maya orders his 2 assistants to stay in camp while he visits the Marine Biology Institute, where he reunites with his friend and former student, ichthyologist Dr. David Reed, as well as David's fiance and assistant, Kay, and they, with a group of other scientists, go back down the river to kind of discover what this creature could be.
Bum, bum, bum.
Bum, bum, bum. So yeah, what is your personal connection with Creature from the Black Lagoon?
So I love the Universal monsters.
Mm-hmm.
I have ever since I was a wee little lad. And a lot of this love comes from being fucking traumatized as a child. So the story goes, and I'm going to mess up this story a little bit. My grandpa, he used to tell this story a lot, but we went to Universal Studios, Florida as a family.
Okay.
I think I would have been around 4 or 5.
Mm-hmm.
We went to the Monsters Cafe. And if you don't know, it's exactly what it sounds like.
Okay.
It's a cafe.
Right.
It has the monsters.
Wow.
Monsters Cafe.
Got it.
And it's like this really cool place where there's so many props and atmosphere, and there's TVs playing like clips from the Wolfman and Dracula and whatever, but also like Universal's other like maybe the movies you haven't heard of.
Mm-hmm.
We go in there, and I'm like a little guy, and I'm just kind of roaming, and I walk right into Frankenstein.
Okay.
I know he's Frankenstein's monster, but I was like 4 or 5, so that's Frankenstein, and this is a big dude, and I just run screaming out of this cafe, because
yeah, that would do it. I mean,
because I was little, and I don't know, I wasn't expecting to actually run into the monster. So and my grandpa said that my family just laughed, and they had to coax me in, and the bride actually was a big, like, helped like calm me down and bring me back to the cafe so I can eat my tendies or whatever.
mm-hmm.
But once I was inside, my grandpa always said like he was so scared, but then he's watching all the movies like it's nothing, all the clips and whatever in that. So that kind of sparked my how you say, not obsession, because that's like Jurassic Park and Star Wars, but like my love, my affinity for the monsters.
Mm-hmm.
Creature's a part of that. Creature's a big part of that cafe. And then like since then, I remember one year on New Year's Eve, my mom and I just watched a bunch of the Abbott and Costello movies, but that included like Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein.
Right.
And then at some point when I was a little, like maybe when I was like 9 is when I watched Creature from the Black Lagoon for the first time. It was on TV, and it's just, I've always loved the creature because he was like the most, like, of the Universal monsters, the creature is like the most like dinosaur looking.
Yeah, for sure.
So 8-year-old Austin's like, that one's my favorite.
It's a very dinosaur-y movie.
Yeah.
Like we were talking about the other week with the Meg, a lot of the like scientists discovering fossils stuff is also happening obviously in this movie. I mean, that's the whole thing.
Yeah. And I could go on and on and on, but I'll save that for historical context and cultural impact. But yeah, all the Universal monsters have a special place in my heart. But Creature, because of who he was my favorite growing up, because of what he looks like.
Is he still your favorite?
No, but he's top 3. Okay. For movies, I'd say top 5. For the actual characters, top 3.
Okay.
but we can save
I was
those
gonna
later.
say
We could save those.
I'll come back to that.
All right, what is your personal connection with the creature from the Black Lagoon?
So my personal connection with the creature specifically is that I watched this movie for the first time last week, as is kind of tradition on this podcast for a lot of the movies that we do. But as far as like Universal monsters go, I didn't really realize the extent to which those were all kind of put together in one category. Like, I never really thought about it that way. But it obviously makes a lot more sense once we dig into the historical context of it all, and we'll do that in a second. But I definitely have had an affinity, at least in concept and in premise, for the Universal monsters. I've always really enjoyed when, like, TV shows or movies, like especially Monster of the Week type TV shows, like Buffy, Supernatural, will have those like very special episodes where it'll be like, oh, we're not just going up against any vampire this week. It's Dracula. We're not just facing any undead monster. It's the Mummy. The Invisible Man takes. Like,
right.
And like Buffy does this a lot, right? They'll have fresh new takes on like these classic monsters. And I think that's cool. Supernatural does the same thing. I love to see, like, it's kind of cool because it's almost like a crossover event. You know what I mean? Like it is a crossover event, really, but it is just like really fun and exciting. So being able to actually watch the original movie, which this is just an aside, but I kind of forget how much I enjoy classic movies until I watch them. I feel like my sweet spot for movies that I generally watch are like 80s to 90s. Generally, those are like the movies that I tend to watch the most of. And so I always kind of forget how much I really enjoy movies from like the 40s and 50s until I get around to them. So yeah, that was fun. That's all.
Earlier this year, I forget why, but I felt like watching It Happen One Night. And that's just a phenomenal film from 39, I think.
I believe you're right. I haven't seen it.
No, it's older. It's like 33.
34.
34.
Yeah,
yes.
I haven't seen It Happen One Night in a really long time.
But that's a phenomenal film. It's always good to like go back to the... I rewatched Bride of Frankenstein earlier this year because I wanted to go see The Bride. I still haven't seen The Bride, but I rewatched Bride of Frankenstein.
Any excuse to rewatch some of those movies is good.
Yeah.
Before we move to historical context, Jeremy, I know that you have a similar story to me. You watched The Creature from the Black Lagoon for the first time last week, correct?
Yes.
Have you seen any of the other Universal Monster movies?
Pretty much all of them, which is the kind of the crazy thing. So my dad, as we've talked about on this podcast multiple times, like one of the things that we used to do is when we would get together for my weekend visits with him, he would have like gone to the video store, like the Blockbuster Family Video nearby, and rented several movies for us to watch over the weekend, and he showed me like pretty much all of them. He was really like, you need to see Dracula, you need to see the original Frankenstein, you need to see the Wolfman. Like, these are the movies. These movies influence all of the movies that you will see here on after. And we just never made it to The Creature from the Black Lagoon. I don't know how or why, but...
Well, he's the last one.
Right. right. Which is true. I did have a different little, like, minor connection. When I was a kid, I was in the Accelerated Reader program, because I was part of the final frontier of literacy. And we... one of the books that I was able to read, and that were part of my, like bracket, like as you start that program, were called The Teacher from the Black Lagoon series.
Oh, that's
which
cool.
Is a series of children's novels or little book stories that are like about different school personnel and how students have anxiety about them and assume that they are terrifying creatures.
You just unlocked a memory that I forgot that I had. Yeah, there's like the teacher from the Black Lagoon, the principal from the Black Lagoon,
the bus driver,
secretary, the custodian from the Black Lagoon. Like, there were a whole series of books, and they were all from the Black Lagoon. And it would be like this little kid who was like really anxious to meet their teacher or whatever, and so they made up this scary monster from the Black Lagoon. I totally forgot those existed. That's so crazy.
Yep. I remember coming home with one of those books from like my school library, and my dad being like, "Well, that's a reference to the creature from the Black Lagoon," and then we just never watched it. It just wasn't one you picked up. I don't know why.
That is so funny. I completely forgot.
Isn't that
about those
crazy?
books.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I'm trying to think if I know of these.
If you saw the cover, hold on. Here, I'm gonna pull it up.
I was gonna say, show them the old cover because the new cover is probably not gonna do it. But this is the. This is like the.
Does this look familiar at all?
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah, that. I'm sure I saw that. I've read that. Too.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, that does look really familiar.
And they were probably like these were originally published in the late 90s or late 80s. Like 89 was the first publication of one of them. So it was really aimed at like our generation of readers.
Yeah.
Wow, that's so crazy. You totally unlocked that.
I think I read those. I really do.
Isn't that crazy? But yeah, so that's my connection to...
And you probably actually understood the reference, too. The rest of us didn't.
Well, I don't know, because I feel like I read those in, like, 3rd or 4th grade.
Probably.
I don't think I watched Creature yet. Well, I don't remember how old I was in 3rd or 4th grade. I would have seen Creature around 10. I don't think I was 8 or 9 when I saw Creature. Mm-hmm. I think I was, like, 10, 11, 12.
Yeah.
For the first time, at least.
Okay, let's talk about the historical context of Creature from the Black Lagoon.
Yes.
And in order to do that, we have to start with the Universal monsters. Now, here's what I'm going to say. I didn't know that the Universal monsters was referring to Universal, like Universal Pictures. Yeah. I thought that was just like, those are the big monsters that we all know. You know, vampire, wolfman, mummy, like...
We know them universally.
Yeah, we know them universally.
These are the archetypes.
Exactly. That's
what I see what you mean.
That's what I always thought they were. However...
I don't need to know... Wait, what's the line from Community? I don't want to be Ripley no more. I'm a sexy Dracula now. Don't you mean vampire? I don't need to know which Dracula I am.
Exactly. You get it. So what they are actually, definitionally, is a franchise that comprised of various horror films distributed by Universal Pictures.
Mm-hmm. Now Universal Studios. The classic era was from 1913 to 1956, and they comprise mostly of horror creature characters that originate from novels. However, there are original characters like the Wolfman and Creature from the Black Lagoon. Right.
So the series started in 1913 with Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. It went through Hunchback of Notre Dame, Phantom of the Opera, Dracula, several Frankenstein movies, The Mummy, The Invisible Man, Wolfman, and then eventually ended up with The Creature from the Black Lagoon in 1954, which then was followed up by Revenge of the Creature in 1955, and the end of the classic era came in 1956 with The Creature Walks Among Us. Which is a weird movie. I bet. If you ever look at a picture from that movie, you'd be like, what? That's fair. But yes, so technically the Creature from the Black Lagoon's official monster name is Gilman. Mm-hmm. Most people just refer to him as the Creature. Right. The original classic era ended in 1956, and then the remakes and spin-off era started up again in 1979 through like 2010. You had a remake of Dracula in 1979, and then of course you had The Mummy, which is probably from the remake era the most famous one. The Brendan Fraser. Yeah. Right. Brendan Wolfman Fraser got a remake in 2010. Yes. My personal favorite, which is nobody's favorite, but it's my personal favorite, is Van Helsing. That was like less of a remake, more of like a monster mash. Yes. That was Universal kind of flexing their IPs. Yeah. My hot take is Van Helsing's a better movie than The Mummy. I don't know if I agree. I like it more, but I don't know if I agree. But yes. Maybe not better, but I like it more. That's fair. I also maybe like better is me being a little insane. But I love Van Helsing. It's like one of my like top 10 movies. Like horror movies probably of all time, which is funny. But and then yes, 2010 we got a remake of The Wolfman, which is really interesting because it is a gothic horror film, and we definitely could have done that in our like gothic horror month. But
yeah, but I didn't think of it.
Neither did I.
The 2010 Wolfman is crazy.
Yes, I have actually seen that one.
And it's surprisingly gory. Mm-hmm. And directed by Joe Johnston, who also did Jumanji, Jurassic Park 3, and Captain America, the First Avenger.
Yep.
What a filmography. Joe Johnston rules.
And then as of recent, we have gotten what is considered the modern era of Universal Monsters, which it's really interesting because there is a movie in here that I didn't know was considered a Universal Monster movie, but I'll see what you think. This is what's listed as the modern era of Universal Monsters.
Okay.
Dracula Untold.
Is that
2014.
the one with the actor? That doesn't help you. I'm trying to.
It's Luke Evans.
Yes.
Dominic Cooper. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I almost said Luke. I wanted to say Luke Evans, but I was like, no, that's. I should have trusted my gut. Yeah. I was right. I was going to be right at least.
Yeah.
Luke Evans. So this was 2014.
That was 2014.
Okay.
2017's The Mummy with Tom Cruise.
The failed Dark Universe, and like people make jokes and whatever, but it's like, yeah.
Yeah. The 2020 Invisible Man with Elizabeth Moss.
Mm-hmm.
Renfield, which is the horror comedy with Nicholas Hoult and Nicolas Cage as Dracula. Or not Dracula. Nope. As
Nicolas Cage was Dracula.
Yeah, he is Dracula. Yeah. Okay, I wasn't
That movie
wrong.
rules.
I haven't seen it, but it looks very funny.
I surprisingly really gory, and it's awesome, but it's funny.
The one that I didn't know was technically considered but I haven't seen it. So I didn't know that this was an adaptation of Dracula's daughter, but Abigail from 2024.
Right. At least it started off that way,
Yes.
and then it turned into more of an original.
Yes.
But the inspirations from Dracula's daughter is still there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be straightforward. I have not seen Dracula's daughter. There's actually quite a few of the Universal Monsters I haven't movies I have, because there's a bunch of them.
Yeah.
I've seen the standards,
Mm-hmm. Right.
like some of the more outward. Like I haven't seen Son of Frankenstein, and I hear that one's great.
Right. Mm-hmm.
I've seen Frankenstein meets the Wolfman, and that one actually I really like that one.
Mm-hmm. And then of course the 2025 Wolfman is the last of the modern
Yes.
Versions of.
And these are all ones that were like produced by Universal.
Yes, those are all like the modern era of Universal horror movies.
Because anyone could do Dracula.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if like Francis Ford Coppola's Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Universal did that one, so that's not like a Universal Monsters movie.
Right. No, there are other studios that have tackled those monsters, but these are the ones that are
that Universal
produced by Universal.
Yeah.
Yes.
Also, like Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't name that because that's a Netflix film.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Anyone can do Frankenstein.
Yes.
There's so many versions of Frankenstein.
Mm-hmm.
And there should be.
They also have, there's a lot of like canceled and repurposed projects, spin-offs, television. We talked about this off mic, but Monster Force is done by Universal Cartoon Studios, and it is a kind of coming of age version of the Creatures of the Night. There's the Mummy animated series. There's all of the Abbott and Costellos.
Right.
There are Universal Monsters novels, which is not to be confused with like the original novels. These are like movie adaptations turned into novels. There are also a ton of Dark Horse comics.
Mm-hmm.
There are, there's a lot of stuff with the Universal Monsters that is like related media.
Right. And just for more context, in case listeners don't know, those who are considered the Universal Monsters, like the standards, they are Dracula, specifically Bela Lugosi. Mm-hmm. They are, it's Frankenstein's monster. Mm-hmm. And like I said, anyone can use Frankenstein, But only Universal can have, like, the bolts in the neck and the green with the square forehead. Like,
yes.
that Jack Pierce classic makeup, that design, that's Universal.
Mm-hmm.
You do Frankenstein, it has to look completely different.
Yes.
The Invisible Man, the Mummy, which same thing. The Mummy can't look like the Boris Karloff mummy.
I was gonna say Boris Karloff did a lot of these ones.
Like Lee Cronin's The Mummy just came out a few months ago. I believe that Paramount did that one.
Yeah.
So anyone can do a mummy movie, but to do like a Universal's like that mummy, you have to be Universal.
Well, same thing with like Hunchback and Phantom. Both of those.
I don't think Hunchback is considered one of the core monsters, though.
It may not be, but it is part of the classic era of Universal monsters.
But right now, I'm just trying to say who the core members of this group are.
That's fair.
Because
I just generally.
For example, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
For example, there's a brand new section at the new Universal Studios park called maybe it's called Dark Universe again. I don't remember what it's called, or Darkland. I don't remember. But it's Epic Universe, but there's the Monster Land. And the big players in that land who you're going to see a bunch of, it's Dracula, it's Frankenstein, the Mummy, the Invisible Man, the Bride, the Wolfman.
Creature.
I think they count Phantom of the Opera. That one, and then Creature. Yeah. But I would say everyone, the ones that everyone recognizes, these are the Universal monsters, aka the ones with merch.
Yep. The location includes, and I would say that these are exactly the ones you were going to say, and exactly the ones you have said. Dracula, Frankenstein's monster, Wolfman, Bride of Frankenstein, Creature from the Black Lagoon, The Mummy, Invisible Man, and then it says, and various others from the studio's films.
Yeah. So sometimes they include Phantom of the Opera, sometimes they don't.
I think Phantom and Quasi are hard because they both have more famous adaptations, which I don't think that the other monsters do. Like when you think Quasimodo, you think the Disney Hunchback of Notre Dame. When you think Phantom, you think of the
Andrew Lloyd Webber.
Yeah, exactly. So I agree with you. That's probably the Universal monsters are the ones where the IP you associate in your head. If I say Dracula, you think
of Bela Lugosi.
You think of the white face paint, you think of the fangs, you think of the red cape. Right. That's Dracula.
You say Frankenstein, like for example, Guillermo del Toro made a beautiful Frankenstein movie.
Yeah. But he's not the one we think of when
we think of Boris Karloff.
Yeah.
And then going from there, Universal, you mentioned this earlier, Universal have two original monsters that only Universal can do. The Wolfman and the Creature from the Black Lagoon. Now, anyone can do a werewolf, but if you want to call your movie Wolfman, Universal has that, Yeah. And then Creature from the Black Lagoon, like, you can make a fish man. Spoiler alert for cultural impact. We're going to talk about The Shape of Water a bunch.
Yeah. Well, and, to your point, when we look at, like, even other IPs, this is, like, kind of a funny example, but it's the easiest one I can think of to kind of prove your point. Hotel Transylvania.
Yes.
Hotel Transylvania has all of the different monsters in it. But, like, you look at Frankenstein, and he's the closest we can get to the Universal monster Frankenstein. But because he's done by Columbia, he's not green.
Right.
And I have a feeling that people probably, like, kind of just substitute that in their head. Like, I definitely was like, but the Hotel Transylvania guy looks like the monster, and I thought he was green. And then I looked it up, and I'm like, no, he's not green. So there has to be, changes made.
Right, like the monsters. They're using all these guys, but they make changes,
So can we zoom in on Creature?
Yes.
All right. So as far as the official, like, production story, William Holland, who is the producer, was attending a dinner party during the filming of Citizen Kane. He played a reporter in Citizen Kane. And he was talking to Gabriel Figueroa, who was a Mexican cinematographer. He worked during the golden age of cinema, specifically on Mexican films, has just like considered one of the best filmmakers in Mexican cinema. And he told him about the Yacaruna, which is this race of half fish, half human creatures that are said to live in the Amazon. And Allen wrote this story titled The Sea Monster, which is based on Beauty and the Beast, which, again, we're going to talk about this more in cultural impact. To me, reads way more Shape of Water than this movie. And I know there's a lot of, like, Guillermo del Toro was actually involved in a Creature remake and all of that kind of stuff. But
a lot of people were, but we'll get to that.
Yes. Yeah, actually, Jeremy and I were doing a lot of research into, like, all of the different remake attempts that have happened.
Yes.
But, you know, he wrote this like story. It was like a story notes based on Beauty and the Beast, kind of talking about this Yacaruna. And that was in 1941. And then about 10 years later, Maurice Zimm, you know, expanded that. And then Harry Essex and Arthur Ross rewrote it as The Black Lagoon. And then Jack Arnold was hired to direct the film.
I want to talk about Jack Arnold for a second.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because he's really prolific in the science fiction genre.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's really important that Universal hired this guy.
Yes. He was hired specifically because of the 3D film House of Wax. And they wanted
Vincent Price,
yes.
classic. Mm-hmm.
And they wanted him to direct the film in the same format.
Other films he's done include The Incredible Shrinking Man, Tarantula, a couple episodes of science fiction theater. The sequel to this film, Revenge of the Creature, it came from outer space. Like a lot of these...
Did you say The Incredible Shrinking Man?
I did.
Okay, sorry, my bad.
No, you're good. But yeah, so it's like he does a lot with science fiction. And then, like you said, with House of Wax, 3D... I forget sometimes that Creature from the Black Lagoon's a 3D movie.
Yeah, I didn't even know that. Obviously, this was the first time I'd watched it, so... I
put on my Blu-ray so I can watch it. Mm-hmm. And it's like, do you want to watch in 2D or 3D? And I'm like, I forgot you knew how to do that.
So then it kind of came about. That's how the script was written. And then they designed the Gillman. Mm-hmm. And there is some controversy about them designing the Gillman, revolving around Millicent Patrick. Millicent Patrick was a special effects artist, makeup designer, and animator. And she had done animation for Disney. She did animation for the original Fantasia, as well as Dumbo, which we have watched. She was an actor or an actress in some scenes, mostly background stuff, before she then went on to do some costume design. And one of the things that she mainly helped design was the xenomorph in It Came from Outer Space.
The xenomorph?
Yeah.
Is that what...
That's what the alien is called, and that is the xenomorph.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I'm not used to saying that for...
Without it meaning from alien.
Right.
Yeah. So then she mainly designed the head and the face of the Gillman costume. However, Bud Westmore, who was a makeup artist, kind of downplayed her importance, and for like half of a century, he was receiving sole credit for the creature's conception, which is very sad. Mm-hmm. You know, that's not to say that he had nothing to do with it, but it was definitely something where he took sole credit, and it seems in retrospect to have been mostly Millicent Patrick. Right. So that's obviously a very sad thing. As far as the creating of the suit, Jack Kevin, who worked on The Wizard of Oz, he also made prosthetics for amputees during World War II, created the bodysuit, and then Chris Mueller Jr. sculpted the head, and that was the Gillman was born.
Yeah. Something about Millicent Patrick during this, before Bud Westmore kind of went and claimed all credit for himself, mm-hmm. they were going to have this like promotional tour where Millicent Patrick, they called it The Beauty Who Created the Beast. Mm-hmm. And she was going to go on like a promotional tour, and there's pictures of her with the creature and stuff. Mm-hmm. And I think probably, like you said, he took sole credit for half a century, really. It wasn't until the 2000s where I think people kind of like, oh, wait, Millicent Patrick she did the designs. I have a Blu-ray copy of Creature from the Black Lagoon, and there was like this documentary on it that I was watching, and like film historians are talking about Millicent Patrick's contributions and how she designed the creature, and much more nuanced, subtle ways where like, yeah, Bud Westmore was jealous of the attention she was getting.
Yeah.
But now it seems like since the turn of the century, she's been getting her flowers.
Yes. There is actually a book about her, which I have not read, but I've read other books by this author. It is called The Lady from the Black Lagoon, Hollywood Monsters and the Lost Legacy of Millicent Patrick. It's by Mallory O'Meara, if you would like to check it out. But it is about just not only her life designing the Gill-Man, but also the fact that she was one of Disney's first female animators. She's the only woman, by the way, in history to create one of the classic movie monsters. Like, she has a very important legacy, and it's very sad that for so long it was kind of taken from her.
Right. Especially because there's so many kick-ass female makeup artists.
Yeah.
Because, like, we talk a lot on this show about makeup artists, but we're always talking about Jack Pierce. We're talking about Stan Winston. We're talking about Tom Savini and Greg Nicotero and Rick Baker, Rob Bottin. These are all great guys, amazing artists. But where are the ladies?
Right.
How come we're not talking? And I know they're out there. Shout out Ashley Richardson, who does my makeup. Blood Witch, Dietary Restrictions. More to come. What?
Hell yeah. Yeah. Honestly, you want another? Here's my book recs today. Here's my other book rec.
The book rec from the Black Lagoon?
the book rec from the Black Lagoon. There's another book by Allison Pierce called Women Make Horror. It is about filmmaking in the horror genre specifically, and it challenges kind of this male-dominated film history that we have, and talks specifically about women in the horror genre.
Hell yeah.
So, haha, fuck men. Women are better.
And the one about Millicent Patrick, which one was that called again?
That was called The Lady from the Black Lagoon by Mallory O'Meara.
So, if you guys need reading material, just hit rewind a couple seconds, get those book and author titles.
I was going to say, I will probably be buying The Lady from the Black Lagoon. I'll report back.
Yes. I got some historical context.
Please.
What makes creature unique? What makes the creature unique amongst the other Universal monsters is the other Universal monsters, they're pretty gothic.
Yeah.
Creature is heavy sci-fi.
Yes.
And of the Universal monsters, that makes the creature very unique. All the other monsters have like this, obviously gothic, but like black and reds and, Creature's green. I know Frankenstein monster's green too.
Yeah.
But it's more subdued. The creature's green.
Yeah. Well, yes. And it definitely doesn't fit into like the gothic horror that we think of when we think of like classic monster.
Right. But what were the big movies of the 1950s? They were the science fiction films. So Godzilla comes out in this time. War of the Worlds. Them. Tarantula. The Day the Earth Stood Still. The great sci-fi, like the great horror movies of the 50s. The Thing from Another World. The great horror movies of the 50s were science fiction. That's how a lot of films like dealing with, because they're very like, especially American made films, scared of communism, scared of invasions, scared of nuclear holocaust. So you get these movies, and Creature from the Black Lagoon is one that this is Universal's kind of playing into the fears of the time. And I think it's important. We mentioned how the creature marks the end of the classic Universal monster era with his 3 films. and it's just like, yeah, I think there's just something special about the 1950s sci-fi era.
Yeah, I agree.
Creatures just a very important part of that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I kind of want to get into our main, like, Summerween category, but I have a lot to talk about with this one. I mean, kind of that, I feel like that's the perfect segue because not only is this a beautifully done sci-fi movie, but it's very much a summer movie. And in a lot of ways, I'm so glad we did this in the month that we also did Predator.
Yep.
Because to me, they're very similar. I mean, obviously setting-wise, right?
Right.
Like, you have the heat of the South American jungle kind of being our setting for both of them, although one of them takes place more on land and one of them takes place more in the water.
A lagoon, you might say.
A lagoon. One might say. Which I actually, like, can I be honest? I don't really know what a lagoon is.
It's like a lot. It's like a goon. A lagoon.
It is a shallow body of water separated from a larger body of water by a narrow landform, such as a reef, a barrier or islands, a barrier peninsula, or an isthmus.
Yeah.
Totally. I knew that. So is the idea that the lagoon is separated from the Amazon? Is that... It doesn't matter. None of this is...
Well, it's lost to time, too.
That's
this lagoon.
Fair. This lagoon. Here we are. So... The other thing that I feel like this has kind of more in common with the Predator than just on the surface level is the fact that both of them have, like, very interesting themes of, like, challenging masculinity.
Yes.
And this is kind of the case for a lot of creature features. A lot of the times we have in creature features this beautiful heroine who gets, like, absconded by the monster. You know, this is kind of like a stereotype, but it is something that happens in quite a few. Like, Dracula always has, like, the coming into the beautiful young woman's, like, bedroom at night kind of thing, you know, that kind of stuff.
King Kong literally picking up babes.
Yes. Frankenstein has what's-her-face, whose name I can never remember.
Elizabeth, I think.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's always kind of this beautiful heroine who gets kind of taken away by the monster, and it's very much formed as a negative thing. But there are feminist readings that kind of reinterpret that or recontextualize it, which I find really interesting. This is not something new that I'm coming up with. This is something that is mostly attributed to Barbara Creed, who is a professor of cinema studies at the University of Melbourne, and she talks a lot about, like, psychoanalysis and feminist theory in horror films. It's kind of her main bag. But she talks about how these movie monsters, like, specifically she talks about Creature and Phantom, and how because even though they are superficially masculine, right? Like, you've got the creature who's, like, big and muscular and, like, you know, almost humanoid, but not, but, like, still tall and everything.
Right.
They are put in opposition to our male hero. It kind of positions them as opponents of the patriarchy, and then it creates a kind of connection between them and the women they victimize, which obviously I feel like is very much explored in The Shape of Water and movies of that. More modern reinterpretations of these universal classic horror tend to have more of these recontextualizations. But yeah, so I find that really interesting because that's something that we talked about with Predator, where it was about the questioning of the masculine, right? Like, there's a lot of that in that movie. There's a lot of that in this movie. And yeah, I also really like Kay as a character, and I think she's very modern in terms of, like, when this was written. She may just seem like kind of a normal character now, but when we see her, when we meet her, she is driving the boat. She is with David as an equal, really. I mean, she is, you know, she goes along with him on this expedition, and it's never even questioned either. It's not like a, no, I'm coming with you, and he says no. It's like a, okay, well, let's us do the expedition. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's really, like, new and kind of exciting, especially for the 50s. She's very educated. She has no difficulty holding a conversation with the men in the room. She doesn't really not understand anything that they're saying. And yeah, she's very independent. She's fiercely independent.
She swim.
She do swim. That is true.
That's probably the most iconic scene in the movie.
Yeah.
Her swimming in the lagoon and then the creature swimming underneath.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that, I don't think the creature gets... I don't think Creature from the Black Lagoon gets enough credit for how iconic it is.
Mm-hmm.
I think it gets overshadowed by the other monster movie, like Dracula and Frankenstein and Wolfman. I believe those are the big three. There's a lot of iconography from Creature, and I think the character of Kay, played by Julie Adams, is a big part of the Creature's iconography.
Mm-hmm. Well, and David is a really interesting character, too, in response to Kay, because not only is she fiercely independent, but David is never perturbed by this, really.
Right.
He is very much never threatened by her challenging him. They have a very interestingly modern relationship for the time.
Right.
And I think that is kind of why we see such an interesting, like, juxtaposition between David and the creature. Is not only can the creature simultaneously kind of have a connection with her because of the fact that he is going against the male lead, but it also kind of turns its head on itself, because simultaneously we see the creature who really gives no regard to what Kay wants or thinks or feels. He is just simply taking her away.
And then there's also the character of Mark.
Yes.
Also doesn't give a shit what Kay wants, but he objectifies her.
Mm-hmm.
He does not like David because he has a thing for her.
Yes.
He's very possessive, kind of like Mark and the creature are like reflections of each other.
Yes.
And David is on the other end of this spectrum.
Mm-hmm.
Still protective.
Yes.
Still a man. Like, I gotta, protect my. But he doesn't, like you said, he doesn't get upset when she challenges him. He seems to embrace her independence and intuitiveness and intelligence.
Yes.
Whereas Mark's like, I'm a man. You're gonna do what I say. I'm gonna kill the thing. And the creature's like, hey, look at me, I'm the creature. He doesn't really talk, but that's how I imagine.
How you imagine him?
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. It's very interesting when you look at the two men in here and how much their motivations kind of capture the type of person that they are. David is very much like, it kind of reminded me, there was one scene that really reminded me of the 2025 Superman, where he was like, no, we have to stop and we have to save him for scientific research. And it reminded me of that scene where David Cornsweet Superman says the same thing.
With the kaiju?
Yes.
Okay, yep.
And so that just, I don't know why that made me laugh. But yeah, so I definitely think you're right. I think the two of them, as well as the creature being kind of masculine form, really highlight if you're looking at this through a feminist lens, which I'm always
right,
highlight the, like, archetypes that are at play here.
Yeah, and it's a really interesting love triangle, which later becomes a love square.
Yeah, I guess so.
Because the creature just inserts himself in there like, hey, I'm the creature.
That's what he says.
You're in my black lagoon.
That's what he
Hello.
says. How'd you know?
But yeah, I think it's a really interesting movie in that regard. I was not expecting you to say the parallel to Predator.
Really?
I wasn't. I thought you were going to bring up the Meg. Because group of scientists on a boat going fucking around with a creature they don't... prehistoric animal they have no comprehension of. They're not equipped to study or fight. Superficially, it's very much like the Meg. I think more thematically, you're right. I think Predator owes a lot to Creature from the Black Lagoon. And also superficially, the Predator and the Creature from the Black... They're very similar monster types. Humanoid, but with the Predator... has that kind of Predator has that reptilian plus mandibles aspect to him.
Yes.
The creature's very amphibious. Obviously fish-like.
Yes.
They green. They tall guys in suits.
Yeah.
They in the jungle. Welcome to the jungle. We got predators and creatures.
We do. And masculinity commentary.
Welcome to the jungle. We got masculine commentary. We got everything you want.
Especially masculine commentary.
Just go back to. That's the only thing we have in the jungle. Welcome to the jungle. But,
yeah.
Yeah.
Welcome to The Jungle, the show where we talk about masculine commentary.
And with that, I'm going to transition us to the cultural impact because we can talk about this movie for hours.
Yeah.
And we're going to.
Yeah, exactly. So, the obvious ones, Creature from the Black Lagoon spawned 2 sequels, Revenge of the Creature in 1955, which was also filmed and released in 3D. Yes.
I got a fun fact.
Yes.
Which ultra-famous movie star debuted in Revenge of the Creature? I'll give you a hint. There's a Gorillaz song named after him.
I don't know.
The people are yelling at you. The people listening, they're like...
I don't know.
I'll give you...
Is it like the obvious Gorillaz song? Like the only Gorillaz song I know? Oh, Clint Eastwood is in that movie?
Yeah.
That's crazy. Okay. I'm
like, don't overthink.
Yeah, you're right. I definitely shouldn't have. I was just like, this is not a Western, unless it is. I don't know. Maybe it is.
But it was before he got into the,
That's
fair.
Fair.
It's either his
It was
debut.
him before he was Clint Eastwood.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Yeah.
It's either his
That's
true
crazy.
debut or it's like one of his very first.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's wild.
Definitely his first big movie.
Yeah. So wow, I had no idea. And then the third one, The Creature Walks Among Us in 1956, which was filmed in 2D. There was also an Abbott and Costello Meet the Creature from the Black Lagoon short, which appeared on the Colgate Comedy Hour prior to The Creature Walks Among Us release. Or no, prior to the first film's release. Sorry, I misread.
I didn't know there was an Abbott and Costello short with Creature.
Yep.
That's cool.
Yep. It was kind of set to promote the movie. And then there were a fuck ton of canceled remakes. So let's go through them all. 1982, John Landis wants Jack Arnold, who did the original, to direct a remake of the film. Nigel Neal was commissioned to write the screenplay, who mostly had thriller kind of background. And it was also supposed to be in 3D.
Yep.
And then that led to the remake being canceled because Universal was like, we don't have the budget for that, and also we don't want to clash with Jaws 3D.
Yeah, they can only do one 3D at the time.
Yeah.
And Jaws 3D is not a good movie.
Well, yes,
but it's one of the very first movies with, I don't remember if this is one of your jump scare actors, I'm sorry, Dennis Quaid?
No, he's not.
Okay.
I understand why you would think that, because similar vibes, but...
Also,
okay.
Leah Thompson's in it.
Wow. Okay. I did not know that.
We like Leah Thompson.
And we don't care who knows.
Mm-mm.
And then in 1992, a little filmmaker, little known dude named John Carpenter.
Oh, you mean the GOAT of horror?
Yeah.
Who just wants to make westerns and play video games?
Yeah. Was set to develop the remake. There were a bunch of people hired to write the script, make the 3D model. Never got greenlit.
And this one got really far in pre-production to never get the green light.
Yes.
I think John Carpenter hired Rick Baker.
Yes, he was hired to create the model of the creature.
And somewhat recently, those pictures got leaked online, and I'm like, oh my god, this would have been so fucking cool.
So that never got the green light. So then Herschel Weinrod and Timothy Harris wrote a new script. Universal offered Peter Jackson the director's chair, and then he chose to do King Kong instead. Which,
if you think about it, they're kind of the same movie.
Yeah.
They're extremely different, but just pure. It's Beauty and the Beast.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I love Peter Jackson's King Kong.
Yes.
So I'm okay with this.
So then in February of 1996, Ivan Reitman was planning to direct the remake, which is kind of an interesting choice.
Well, he's like most famous for doing Ghostbusters.
Yeah, he did like Ghostbusters, and that was not like an outlier. He did like Ghostbusters and like Kindergarten Cop.
Yeah.
And like Space Jam. Like those are the movies that he was doing. It never materialized. So then the Mummy remake came out in 1999.
Mm-hmm.
So then they were like, great, we can do Universal Monsters again. Let's do The Creature from the Black Lagoon. So in December of 2001, Gary Ross signed on to write and produce the remake with his father, Arthur Ross, who was one of the originals writers.
Yeah, which that's cool.
Yeah, very cool.
If it would have happened.
Gary Ross is kind of most known for Seabiscuit, The Hunger Games, Ocean's 8. He did Pleasantville in the 90s, which I love that movie.
That one has Tobey Maguire, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
That is a good. I like
it's
that.
It's a great movie.
Oh, that's multiple Tobey Maguire movies with Seabiscuit.
Right. And so then that one also never materialized. So then Guillermo del Toro was signed on to direct a remake in August 2002. He hoped to do a story more focused on the creature's viewpoint and also wanted to give him a successful romantic interest, which again kind of goes back to what the original like 10-page notes idea was back in the 40s based on Beauty and the Beast. But that never materialized until Universal rejects the concept. 2017 rolls around and we get The Shape of Water.
Yep, Guillermo. He just made the amphibian man a little different from the gill man.
Yeah. I can't wait until we eventually talk about The Shape of Water. I don't even know if it's programmed yet, but we'll get to it at some point. But it is a phenomenal movie. But yes, very much obviously based on the Gill Man, based on his original concept for the remake. There were obviously the creative clashes. He also had many other projects that he was attached to.
Because what year did you say this was?
2002.
2002. So he would have been doing the Hellboy movie, the Hellboy sequel.
Yeah.
Hellboy sequel or Blade 2. I forget which. Probably working on both.
I think both. Yeah.
And then Pan's Labyrinth which we just talked about last month in Around the World June. That would have come
like soon after.
Right. So after Guillermo del Toro.
So then they hired Teddy Saraifan, who is a screenwriter, most known for Terminator 3, to write a script in March of 2003. And then in 2005, Breck Eisner signed on to direct it. And that also fell through. I'm
sensing a pattern here.
Yeah. He was talking about how he loved the original version, but he wanted to update the image and bring in more of the sci-fi elements. So he was like, I'm taking inspiration from Alien and The Thing.
Predator?
No, that was where you were supposed to say Bum Bum.
Oh, the one time you actually mentioned
it.
I didn't even register because I'm trying to think of more like sci-fi.
Yeah.
I'm into this conversation.
Yeah. And then
I'll tell you why. It's because you didn't say here's.
That's
and
fair.
That's
your cue.
Exactly.
The Gill Man was supposed to be reinvented and be a result of like pharmaceutical corporation polluting the Amazon. So very Godzilla kind of.
Sure. Yeah.
And then there was the Writers Guild, the WGA strike in 2007, 2008.
Is that what killed that one?
Yes. So Breck Eisner instead made The Crazies.
The remake that came out in 2000.
Yes.
Because it's a Romero film from the 70s.
Yes.
I like that movie. The 2010 one. His version.
So his goal was to finish that and then start The Creature from the Black Lagoon. It just didn't, like, the boat set had been built, like, it got pretty far into the, he wrote the script. It was supposed to be a summer blockbuster. He spent 6 months designing the Gill Man with Mark McCreary, who did designs for Jurassic Park and also did Davy Jones from the Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah. He's a legend. I think they call him Crash.
Yes. And then,
because when you said Mark McCreary, my brain just goes, does he mean Crash?
I do.
And I'm like, yeah.
And so then it just like, it got so far and then just never happened.
That sucks.
Then Carl Eric Rinch got attached to direct, and then that was abandoned by 2011. And then in March of 2012, Universal announced that there would be a remake in development simply titled The Black Lagoon. They hired a writer. It was supposed to hit theaters by May 2014. It was canceled. In 2020, they considered ScarJo and Chris Evans for a remake.
Which one's the creature?
That's a good question. Probably ScarJo.
She could do it.
Yeah, Chris Evans plays a damsel in distress really well. And then in 2014, they started developing the shared universe of modern day versions with The Mummy 2017, like we talked about.
The infamous Dark Universe.
Yes. It was set to be, the creature was once again set to be rebooted with a story written by Jeff Pinkner and a script written by Will Beall, who is known for kind of the DCEU films. He wrote Aquaman. He wrote Zack Snyder's Justice League. And then they moved on to other projects. And then in January of 2019, the Dark Universe film series was officially scrapped. In August of 2024, it was announced that James Wan was in talks to direct a remake of Creature from the Black Lagoon. Sean Tretto was reported to be writing the screenplay, and that is the last we have heard of any
remakes. And James Wan had a bunch of productions, like he produced, because he produced This Year Alone, Backrooms, Lee Cronin's The Mummy, and Mortal Kombat 2.
Yes.
I don't know. I think the last movie he's directed was the Aquaman movie. The second one. I forget. Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, I think.
Yeah.
Which I liked, but yeah, so I hope it's happening.
I hope so.
James Wan's busy.
He's very busy.
But he gotta be directing. I want him directing. We need his movies, and I'm happy he's helping out make other people's movies.
Yeah,
make some time for yourself, homie.
For sure.
And by that I mean make time for me. I want to see your movies.
It's mostly about me.
It's always
about me.
Main character syndrome. Am I right?
But yeah, other than that, I mean, just as a whole, other than like remakes and all of that good stuff, Creature from the Black Lagoon has had a remarkable cultural impact. He may not be the most famous of the Universal monsters, but I definitely think he is up there in terms of like inspiration for aquatic mystery, shall we say.
And earlier we were talking about how the Universal monsters are kind of like the archetypes of horror.
Yeah.
You have Dracula representing the vampire, Frankenstein's monster representing the undead and the mad scientist, the Wolfman, werewolves, Invisible Man, also mad scientist, also science fiction. But the creature is its own archetype. Doesn't come from a novel, doesn't like the Wolfman, the werewolf's just folklore. You know, like the Wolfman's an original character, but they didn't come up with the concept of werewolves. That's extremely famous. Wasn't even their first werewolf movie, you know? But the creature, the Gillman is extremely original.
Yes.
And yes, I know the producer got like the story from his cinematographer friend about half man, half fish, but that wasn't really a popular culture thing.
Right.
Now you see that all the time.
Yeah.
And like back in the day when we were kids, there was like a Tony the Tiger commercial with a creature coming up from a lagoon, and it's shot like a monster movie's creeping up on the kid, and he just wants some Frosted Flakes.
Yeah.
Because they're great.
They are great.
And like whenever Universal monsters are like the big example is like the Monster Squad, which is, if you guys haven't seen it, it's like the Goonies or the Sandlot meets the Universal monsters.
Yeah.
Universal didn't make this movie, so they have to take liberties. But Stan Winston reimagines these monsters, and they're really gnarly.
Yeah.
And Gillman's part of it.
Yeah.
I think there's a creature inspired character on the Munsters.
I believe you're right.
But I never really watched the Munsters. I only have, like, pop culture, like, I participate in society, so I know who the Munsters are.
Yes. No, he is a part of the family. He is Uncle Gilbert.
Oh, that's funny.
Which is funny, Gill. He wears a little, like, hat. It's very cute. I had forgotten about him until you mentioned him, but I used to watch the Munsters quite a bit.
And I feel like Scooby-Doo has had creature archetypes. Supernatural and Buffy, I'm sure, have had creature archetypes.
Buffy does have an episode that is the swim team takes performance-enhancing drugs. It's a capital VE or VSE, very special episode, where they take performance-enhancing drugs and then they end up turning into Gill monsters.
That's iconic.
Yeah.
The greatest movie ever made, Jaws, like, it has these underwater POV shots, and while the creature from Black Lagoon doesn't have underwater creature POV, it has so many underwater scenes that, you know, kid Steven Spielberg saw, and, like, I think there's a direct through line between Creature from the Black Lagoon to Jaws, and then Jaws to everything else.
The OG Scooby-Doo, Creature from the Black Lagoon is its own episode. So
yeah, so it's like, and there's so many more we can say.
Yeah, absolutely. It's kind of like what I was talking about at the beginning, where that's the kind of stuff I love to see. These, like, big crossover episodes of, you know.
And of the Universal monsters, I think the creature might be the fourth most famous.
Yeah, I would agree. I think he's... Because, like, what are you thinking? Dracula, Frankenstein...
Wolfman.
I don't even know if Wolfman's more famous.
Oh, the Wolfman's really famous.
I think...
Everyone knows the Wolfman. Like, he's the most famous werewolf.
I think it might be Mummy over.
No. Because I think the Brendan Fraser mummy overpowers the original mummy in terms of, like...
That's fair.
And then... I would put Bride right under Creature, because the bride is iconic. But yeah, Wolfman's definitely top 3. And then Invisible Man under I would, me personally, I think in terms of iconography, my heart wants to say Frankenstein's number 1, but I know it's Dracula. It's Drax, Franks, Wolves, Creets, Brides, Viz, Mums. Yeah, that's the big 7. I don't think Phantom of the Opera's one of the big ones.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay.
I think those are the big...
Yeah.
Everyone knows those 7.
Yeah. Are you ready to do our...
Creaturelatives.
I feel like we've
Jinx.
Have we done that before?
I don't think so. Our superlatives from the Black Lagoon.
Superlatives from the Black Lagoon.
I had to do that. That was good.
Ready?
Yeah.
Who would you save?
The creature.
Okay. Sure.
They showed up in his house.
That's fair. They did.
And he's just like, oh, look, a baddie. And he got killed for it.
I think he did more than that, is the thing, though.
Tomato.
All right.
What's that one meme? I don't think he did a bloody thing wrong. What about all the murders? What murder?
What murder?
You know what I'm talking about?
He's the best guy around. Yeah.
What about all the murder? What murder? That's a creature.
Yeah. No, that's fair.
He's just a silly little guy.
Yeah.
And they trap him, you know?
For science.
For science or whatever. And it's like they're antagonizing him first.
Yes.
Because, like, the first time you really see... I mean, you see his hand at certain points, but the first time you see the creature's face, Kay, who's a great character, but, yeah, she's smoking a cigarette, and she just throws her cigarette into the lagoon.
Yeah.
And the cigarette falls, and you see the creature.
Yeah, I would be pissed if somebody just threw a cigarette on the ground of my house too.
Exactly. Yeah. He's just like, I live here.
This is my house.
And then he's like, oh, it's fine. It's because it's a baddie.
Yeah.
He just wants to swim with a baddie. I can relate. And then he gets killed. Anyways, who would you save?
I would save Luis and Tomas. They are just trying to be... That's Uncle Gilbert. Luis and Tomas are just trying to be, assistants and hold down the fort, and they get killed for it, and that sucks.
They're basically interns.
Yeah, exactly. I'm sure they're not getting paid enough.
Right. No, I feel bad for them too.
Yeah. What is your favorite scare? Because I've got a good one for this.
Well, then you say yours first.
Okay, mine is, I know it's the same as Jeremy's, because we talked about it, but mine is when the creature starts to come through the porthole.
Oh,
and
yeah.
What's-his-face is just laying there kind of comatose. It's crazy. It's good.
Oh, yeah, because he was pretty badly injured earlier.
Yeah, mm-hmm.
Which is related to my favorite scare from this movie, is that character who, for whatever reason, I think looks like Ben Mendelsohn. Before he's wrapped up.
Yeah.
Before he's wrapped up like the Invisible Man. He's talking to Kay about whatever. And I swear to God, he's saying something. And one more thing. And then the creature just pops out.
Yeah.
It's kind of fun. Kind of funny. And I'm like, I liked that. Because I'm not expecting that.
Yeah, it's good. All right. Who is your Tony Todd Award for movie MVP?
Uno, reverse. You're going first this week.
That is true. I called Millicent Patrick, who, if you don't remember from, an hour and a half ago,
if you don't remember from earlier this episode,
is the woman who was the primary designer for the Gilman costume.
I was going to say the same thing, but I had a feeling.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? We love women supporting women.
And we don't care who knows.
And we don't care who knows. But because mine got stolen, I'm going to say 2.
Okay.
Because they're technically 1.
Okay. I feel like I know who you're going to say now.
Yeah, I'm going to say Rico Browning and Ben Chapman.
Yes.
Who together played the Gillman.
Mm-hmm.
Rico Browning being the creature in the water, and Ben Chapman playing the creature on land.
Yes.
And both of them are, phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
And they really bring the creature to life. And between Millicent Patrick's design, I guess Bud Westbrook's team.
Sure.
I guess he helped.
I guess.
But yeah, between Millicent Patrick, the entire makeup team, Rico Browning, and Ben Chapman, they really all brought this creature to life and made the creature the icon that he is today.
Mm-hmm.
And while I don't think he gets as much love as, say, Dracula, Frankenstein, or the Wolfman, the creature's still iconic. And, there's so many Wolfman movies. There's so many Frankenstein. Obviously, Frankenstein and Dracula. There's even a bunch of mummy movies.
Yes.
Creature only has 3. And a handful of, Shape of Water type movies.
Mm-hmm.
And Creature still is just as iconic, even though he came to the party much later, and he doesn't have as many movies to show for it. He's still, yeah. So, what a team! What a guy!
What a team! Austin, have you met anyone in this cast or crew?
No.
Boo. Is it because it's a very old movie?
A little bit.
That's fair. A lot of these people were dead before you were born.
Yeah. Although Rico Browning just passed away 2 years ago.
That's true.
Julie Adams, who plays Kay, she passed away
in 2019.
2019.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so what about the music? Is this score better than Jaws?
Bum, bum, bum. No.
No, it is
I
not.
love it though.
But it's really good, and this score was done by 3 people. It was done by Herman Stein, who did a lot of Universal sci-fi and horror movies, like It Came from Outer Space, This Island Earth. He also did a lot of television westerns, so like The Life and Legend of Wyatt Earp, Gunsmoke. He did a lot of different movies and TV shows, especially for Universal. So that was him. And then Hans J. Salter was another one. He did, oh God, so many different, like so many different. He did the King Kong versus Godzilla US version in 1963. He did The Oklahoman, The Tall Stranger. He did, I'm trying to find like his most like known ones, but he's done so many. He did Tomahawk in 1951. Just very many like adventure films and westerns and stuff like that. And then finally, probably the most like mainstream recognizable name that worked on this is Henry Mancini, who is a very prolific composer. He is probably most known for, or like the song that you would probably most know him from is the Pink Panther theme.
Oh yeah. I didn't think you were gonna say that, but you're right.
Well, the one that I like him the most from, but the one that I think that's probably the most known. The second most is probably Moon River from Breakfast at Tiffany's. Is that what you thought I was gonna say?
No, but that you're right with that one too.
What did you think I was gonna say?
The Baby Elephant Walk.
Oh yes. Okay. Yes, he also did the Baby Elephant Walk.
Oh, and he did Peter Gunn too, right?
Mm-hmm. He did Peter Gunn. He did Romeo and Juliet. He did. He's done like a lot of movies. He started his career in 1952 with the Raiders. Mm-hmm. He also helped with It Came from Outer Space. He did Creature, obviously, and then he was working up until 1993. In the 90s and 80s, he did the original Santa Claus as well, like the Santa Claus with an E. You know, he's done like very many scores. And he also did a lot of TV themes as well, like you said, like Peter Gunn. He did...
Yeah, Pink Panther's definitely his most famous, though.
Yeah. He did the NBC Nightly News theme.
I don't think I knew he did Moon River.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I also forget that movie's from Breakfast at Tiffany's.
Yeah. Yeah.
I always just think of Andy Williams.
That's fair. It is from Breakfast at Tiffany's.
No, I know, but I forget that.
Fun fact, and shout out to my grandparents, that was their first dance song at their wedding. So.
You know what mine's gonna be?
What?
The Baby Elephant Walk.
Okay.
People are gonna be really pumped for the Simpsons theme at our wedding.
That's not happening, everybody.
When I walk out, because it's your wedding, but I'm going to make it all about me. Can you play the creature from the Black Lagoon?
We had an idea for him the other day. I don't remember what it was now.
I don't remember what it was either. We did have an idea for you.
Was it the MASH?
No.
Was it the Monster MASH?
That would be good too. For context, we did ask Austin to be in our wedding party today, so he's really riding that high.
I said yes.
The most important yes of this event.
Of this entire event. Okay, is this a fine addition to your collection? Do you own this movie?
So I said this earlier, yes.
You did say that earlier, but I have to ask. It's contractually.
But it's cool, but here, listen. I have it in this really cool Blu-ray set.
Okay.
It's an 8-pack, kind of like my abs. Sorry, that was stupid. But it's a really cool Blu-ray 8-pack that has it has Dracula, Frankenstein, The Mummy, The Invisible Man, Bride of Frankenstein, The Wolfman, Phantom of the Opera 1957, and Creature maybe 47, and Creature from the Black Lagoon.
There's a streaming service on a disc.
Really, and
that's pretty cool.
I got this collection, I think in high school. My mom bought me this collection, and I watched all these movies like so many times since then.
That's awesome.
And because beforehand, I can only watch them if they came on TV, which is how I watched The Wolfman for the first time, and Creature, and I think because of this Blu-ray set, that was the first time I've actually saw Dracula and Frankenstein for other than just, whatever. I also have a Creature from the Black Lagoon shirt. I'm wearing it right now, and it's this really cool dark green tie-dye.
It's like a really cool shirt. I really like it. It's very summery.
I got it from Cavity Colors, and they have a lot of great tie-dye shirts.
They really do. Every time we talk about Cavity Colors, I get on there and like add more stuff to my cart.
And I think they still have some Creature from the Black Lagoon.
It's going to be our wedding registry at this point.
It's just Cavity Color.
Right. But, yeah, that Blu-ray set has a really cool cover, too. But, yeah, I have Creature.
You do have Creature.
And I don't see the point in upgrading it to 4K. Because it's such an old movie that the Blu-ray looks fantastic.
Yeah, that's fair.
But if it had like a bunch of special effects, I would rebuy it. Or not special effects, special features, bonus features. I would rebuy it.
Fair.
And I have some like various art pieces over the years.
Okay. Everybody get out your Letterboxd reviews, please, and thank you.
Bum bum bum. Ba ba ba.
Exactly.
It's such an obnoxious score. I love it so much.
It was pretty dope.
It's so it's like, and every time the Creature showed up, which is a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right, we ready?
Yep.
Okay. I gave this 3 stars and a heart.
Oh wait.
And I said, Prime Video suggested Big Fish after this, and I think that's funny.
It's pretty funny.
It's pretty funny.
There's always a bigger fish.
I gave this 3.5 stars and a heart.
Yes.
And I said, I enjoyed this more than I thought. I feel very maternal over the creature.
As you should.
Yeah.
I also gave this 3.5 stars and a heart. And I said, the creature risked it all for a baddie. I can respect that.
Amen.
And that he did. I also, in my Letterboxd era, have watched this twice. I'm not going to read my whole review for my initial one when I watched it on March 15th, 2023. But I'm going to say I'm a very consistent person. My last sentence of this is, I love how abrasive and obnoxious the score is. Inject those brass lines into my veins.
Which is what we've been doing this whole time.
Bum, bum, bum!
There are no Supernatural alumni in this one. Shocker. It's a very old movie.
They didn't want to bring in Ben Chapman or Julie Adams for a cameo.
You would think. But we do have our special edition superlative, which is scale of 1 to 10. How hot is this cast?
10.
Oh, that was no hesitation.
Julie Adams, especially...
No, you don't have to justify it. I'm also giving it a 10. That was very quick.
Julie Adams in this movie particularly is one of the most beautiful women ever shot on film. Like, holy shit.
That's fair.
And then the creature from the Black Lagoon?
Listen, I would.
I don't even need to talk about those two.
Jeremy, what are your thoughts?
Also 10.
Yeah!
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Rock the boat. Don't rock the boat, baby. Don't tip the boat over.
Austin?
Yes.
Would you die?
No. I'll tell you why. Because the creature would come up from the Black Lagoon, see me, and recognize me as a friend.
So we talked about this while we were watching this movie, Jeremy and I, and we said, and Jeremy said, and I quote, so when Austin says that the creature would see him and recognize him as a friend, we have to remind him that no, he only does that with women.
That's not true, because he would see my creature from the Black Lagoon, my creature from the Black Lagoon shirt.
You guys would do the Spider-Man point.
Exactly. Exactly.
Crazy.
Because here's what I'm gonna say. The creature didn't like David and Mark because they weren't open-minded. I'm willing to try things, and I think the creature...
would appreciate that.
Whatever. I think Creature would be like, okay.
Crazy thing to say.
How about you? Would you die?
No, we're Shape of Watering this bitch. Nope. Jeremy, love of my life fiance, would you die?
Yes. And here's why.
Because you're not as open-minded as we are.
I am a man. And although that's usually Austin's reason for survival, in this particular instance, it is why I would die.
Fair. Austin, where can the people find you?
The people can find me listening to the brass score over and over and over and over again. Non-stop loop. And also find me simping over the Creature. And also find me on the social medias at Austin M. Torres. Find me on Letterboxd. Find me on Instagram. I do be watching a lot of Letterboxd. Or I guess movies. And logging on Letterboxd. You can
he
find...
just watches the reviews come
yeah,
in
exactly.
on Letterboxd.
Let's see what my friends like and then get mad when they're giving movies I like perfectly reasonable ratings. Yeah, the show's social media at Would You Die Show. We on Instagram. We on YouTube. Subscribe to our YouTube where you can also watch my short films like Spider, Ice Cream, The Blood Witch, and the trailer for the upcoming dietary restrictions. Subscribe to us on Patreon for only $3 a month. You can listen to our bonus episodes this month. For Return of Summerween, we covered The Sandlot, which also fits into our creature feature Summerween. Mm-hmm. We just had our latest episode of the Godzilla Project, Ghidorah, the three-headed monster. Mm-hmm. And Godzilla shares a birth year with Creature from the Black Lagoon.
Yep. Something
I didn't really realize until recently. Even though I knew both came out in 1954, I just didn't put that connection together. Where can the people find you?
The people can find me swimming out just too far away from the boat. You can also find me on social media at Whimsawillow, mostly Instagram, sometimes Twitter, but yeah, mostly Instagram. You can also find Jeremy and I on Sledgehammer Horror's episode for my first horror movie that came out on July 20th. That was Monday, July 20th. We talk about our first horror movies and kind of what got our start in horror for some of us and our shy away from horror for a decade for others of us. You can guess who is who. So yeah, go give them a watch, go give that episode a watch, and then go give them a follow if you're not already. Hopefully you are, but if not, go do that. Jeremy, where can people find you?
The people can find me doing my absolute best to be the teacher from the Black Lagoon. You can also find me at Annually Funny across all social media platforms.
Amazing. Thank you, Jeremy Lippitt, for producing our podcast. Thank you to Josie Palmer for producing our theme music and composing our theme music. And you can check out her other music on Spotify and Apple and YouTube and wherever else you find music. Thank you to Alec Gibson at Crosshook Creative for doing our graphics displayed on our social medias. You can check out more of his work at wearecrosshook.com. Austin, do you have a hint for the next episode and the next month?
So next month, we are doing our first month dedicated to a franchise.
Yay!
It's, I'd say, an A-list horror franchise, but also kind of keeping in theme with the movie we talked about today. That'll make sense once you know what it is. And next, for episode 75, we're talking about my favorite scary movie. So if you know, because I've said it so many times, if you know, you know.
Yep.
But until then, I'm Austin Torres.
And I'm Anneliese Petersmark.
Recorded live from the Black Lagoon. Try not to die.